Welcome to the G.N.A podcast, Games, Nerds, and Alcohol. I am your host, Cecil Xavier, and I am chilling out here with Shinzu. We are going to have just a good chill night of drinking and talking and catching up and talking and talking, chilling, catching up and talking and chilling, catching up, chilling, and talking. How you doing, guy?
I'm doing well. I am tired, but I am doing well.
I feel that. I feel that so much, dude. I went to Michigan over the weekend, and it was awesome. It was a great time, but holy hell, it was, it was a flurry of just trying to get things done. How was your weekend, man?
It was good. I really didn't do much. I really just didn't do anything for the most part, so that was kind of nice. The weather here is getting a little bit on the colder side, so I was like, I don't really feel like going out.
I feel that in my bones. In my bones.
I was still also trying to get a bunch of stuff sorted because I started that new job, so I was kind of running around getting a bunch of stuff and trying to square a bunch of stuff away.
Yeah, man. Tell me about this new job. Like, what are you doing? What's it about?
It's pretty much exactly what I was doing beforehand. And it's really funny because I was just actually driving by the place, and I just happened to look over and I saw a sign. It's a brand new sign. It still had the plastic around it. And I was like, oddly enough, I wonder if they're hiring. So I went on their website, applied for the job, and I got an email, I think like a day later, saying, we'd like to interview you. And I was like, okay, cool. Set up the interview date with them. And it was like early in the morning. And I kind of stepped away from my current job because I was expecting to go the rest of this month without a job. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be out of a job for the entire month of October after getting laid off. And then I'm probably going to get a job mid-November. So I was like, I can travel. I'll be able to have fun, travel, and, it'll be a good time. So the first interview goes well, really well, actually. And they're like, can you do a second interview later on? And I'm thinking like later on next week, we'll schedule something, sit down. I have a bunch of interviews scheduled for the very next day. And they're like, no, would you like to do a second interview today, say like around 1:00? And I was like, okay, sure, why not? So then I met who would be like my supervisor / lead and the manager of the department. And during the interview process, the guy kind of leans forward and he goes, so I just got one question for you. When can you start? And I felt really bad because the hiring manager hadn't really sat down and said, this is what the pay is. So like, they asked me, they're like, how much would it, what's your asking price? And I kind of slid it amount across the table and they agreed to it. So I'm making, good money at a place I just started at. So I'm pretty excited for that. It was actually it was on par with what I was making at my last job. So that's what I'm happy about. And it gives me a little bit of breathing room. It's a really relaxed atmosphere. And actually, when I wake up in the morning, I don't dread having to go into work and be like, oh, it's going to be such a slog of a day.
That's awesome, man. Dude, I'm happy for you. Because I knew you were stressed out the last place. So
yeah,
awesome,
it was that last place was incredibly stressful. It was also because, I think a lot of that stress too was the fact that we were understaffed and went from being understaffed like by a good amount to being horrendously understaffed to not having anything to do because the merger just basically put everything on hold, and then we all just got the notice that we're losing our jobs, which the knowledge of the fact that, I have all these bills I have to pay. Like I have a car bill I have to pay. I have all these other bills I have to pay. I was really worried I was going to go through the entire amount of severance pay. Now I'm not even going to touch the severance pay, which is awesome.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Hey, dude, that's build a new computer pay then. You could just thank your old job and say, hey, you just built me a new computer. You guys rock.
Pretty much. I'm not going to go anything too extreme. Like I was looking to update my my CPU, but then I sat down, I looked down at the motherboard. I just built this PC like 3 years ago, and it currently has an i9 in it. So I don't really feel like buying another $500 i9 and redoing it. So I'm like, I'm just going to get a new computer case, a new graphics card, because I don't really see the need to get all the new stuff consistently. Like I know some people get new RAM, new graphics cards every year. I try to go like every 3 or 4 years, and then it's a major update. And eventually, I probably will replace, the CPU and the motherboard and the RAM with better versions of what is currently in here. But there's not a game I can't play on ultra settings that I have it currently in my library. And I don't know what game is coming out that this rig still could not perform on ultra on. Maybe
Nice.
Resident Evil, because that required so much virtual memory that it just this card didn't have enough. I think the amount of RAM that game required to run at like 100% was 16 gigs of virtual memory.
Oof. Yeah, that's a rough. But hey, dude, you got a new job. That's awesome. So now more importantly, what are you drinking, good sir?
Well, since the podcast moved to the weekdays, I won't be drinking since I don't drink during the weekdays.
Ah, I see how it is.
I'm one of those lame people. Also, like, I think that particular tradition kind of carries over from when we were in lockdown. Because I'd just be sitting around, looking around. I'd be looking at a bottle of scotch or bourbon and be like, you know what? Tonight's a good night. And I just put so much of that away that I'm going through bottles of liquor and I'm like, it's a little on the pricey side. So I was like, I'm going to cut back and only drink on the weekends. And that saved me a lot of cash. Probably also saved my liver, I would imagine. But I just kind of carry
right
through.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, not awesome that you're not drinking, but hey, conviction's awesome.
But what are you drinking?
I am drinking. See, it's fall, and I use that as an excuse to just, because I want to. But it's fall, so I am drinking a good old ginger spice whiskey, and I'm just mixing it with some Coca-Cola because I think what's his face? My brain's melting. My apple cider went all wonky and went bad. So I am drinking it with some Coca-Cola, and it's nice. It's just, it's nice. It's an easy drink. Like, have you tried this ginger spice whiskey? Have I forced you to give it a shot?
No, I don't think I've ever been in proximity of you when you've had it.
Oh, it's so good. It's smooth. It's got a nice flavor to it. It's just so good. But yeah, so I'm drinking some ginger spice whiskey, just chilling out, having a good time. Because, man, life is stressful. It just is, man. It's just so stressful.
It is. And I'm in a new apartment now, too. Since the last time I've been on the podcast, I'm in a new apartment. And that kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. It's just like, I hate moving, man. Like, I hate moving. I hate the fact that I still have boxes that I have to unpack. Oh, actually, technically, no, I don't have to unpack. My roommate's got to unpack. I love my roommate, but there are still boxes here that are like in the living room, and I just want to be done with it. Like, everything needs to go into storage, or it needs to be in its proper place so we can start having people over. Because I won't have anyone over when I still have boxes everywhere.
See, that sounds like an introvert's dream. That sounds like the exact reason not to unpack the boxes, because you never have to have anybody over.
I'm very much an extrovert. Like, I love hanging out with my friends. I love being with my friends. I love being social. And for, like, me, it drives me nuts because I'm also kind of a neat freak, too. So, like, I'm going into the living room and there's just boxes everywhere. And I'm sitting there going, like, oh, my God, this is fine in the short term. But long term, it needs to change. Like, we need to have some sort of order here.
So, in other words, what I'm hearing is you chose poorly on who to be a roommate with.
Nah, I love my roommate. Like, we roomed once before together years ago when I first moved back to Vermont after I moved in with my brother, and that was a disaster. But it was fine back then. It's just there's a lot of things that are like externally kind of like we both work a lot, and there's just not a lot of motivation after a full work day to like keep pushing yourself to go even further. So it kind of falls to the wayside. I've actually started unboxing some of them myself and be like, oh, this is all cooking stuff and this is all bathroom stuff. And I'll just put it away.
Not gonna lie, that sounds rough. But
Nah, it's fine.
Adulting does suck.
Yeah, adulting is kind of awful, but alcohol does help, and it is really a shame that the podcast moved to the weekdays, because that means I'll be doing them sober, and I hate this. I want to be able to drink.
I mean, you can always. There's nothing stopping you from saying, well, you know what? I'm going to drink Wednesdays and Saturdays, and that's it.
I feel like that's kind of like a Batman never kills situation because it's easy. So drinking during the weekdays is very easy, but I can't do it because once I cross that line.
No, man, I get you. And nothing wrong with that. There's nothing at all wrong with that.
No, also on the same time, even if this was technically on a Sunday, my friends and I take a yearly trip at the end in October, and we generally drink pretty heavily at this event. So we'll be drinking, or rather, I will be drinking a lot. So at the moment, even if this was on Sunday, I still wouldn't be drinking because I'll be drinking a fair amount at the end of this month.
Oh, I feel you. I told you I went to Michigan. It was for Magnate's wedding, and it was 2 days of solid drinking. Great time though. Cold, but great time.
How was Michigan?
Dude, it's actually the first time I've been to Michigan, like Michigan proper. And it's upstate New York, Vermont. Like it's literally identical to that. It was so weird. Because we were driving around and I was like, this is like driving through 95 right now. That's exactly what this is. This isn't anything other than, or not 95, 87. Like, this is literally just driving up 87. It was pretty cool. Nice rolling hills and the lake, of course, there. The lake's always nice. But yeah, it was just it was a really great time. We stayed in a place called, locals refer to it as Travers City, but it's spelled Traverse, like Traverse Town from Kingdom Hearts. So I kept calling it Traverse, and I kept seeing like somebody who was local there just kind of cringe every time I said it. So then I just started doing it on purpose. Oh, I got to tell you about this though, because this was fun. Because I'm Cecil, and I have to do things the Cecil way. I can't not be me. So while I was there, or while I was sitting up, I was asking Magnate what he wanted for his wedding, because like, where's your registry or something like that. And he's just like, no, you're already doing so much. You're coming up at the last minute because I didn't give you any time. He's just like, so no, you don't have to get me anything. And I'm like, all right, butt plugs it is. So of course, what does he do? He eggs me on, because he's like, yeah, this guy is going to give me butt plugs for my wedding. Oh, little did he know. That's exactly what I was going to give him. Not only did I give him butt plugs, but I actually took said butt plugs and I put them in a plastic bag. And because of course I jokatively said, oh man, I got to get these things through customs. How the hell am I going to do that? They're metal. So I give him, so I literally, I give him a plastic Ziploc bag with these butt plugs in them, but I dipped them in Nutella before I gave them to him.
That's rude. That is just rude.
Dude, it was absolutely fantastic. This is what I was going to do. I was going to give them to him during his wedding, like during the actual reception. And I was going to go, hey man, and I was going to give him the bag, but it was only going to have 2 of them in it, the 2 smaller ones. And I was going to say, hey man, there's 3 of them total, but one's going to take a little while to get out. And then like by the end of the night, I was just going to give him it wrapped in toilet paper and Nutella. Really fuck with him. But I didn't. My wife convinced me, no, give him to him before the wedding, before anybody's there. Give him to him at the Airbnb because, his wife won't get it. And this is the first time you're meeting his wife.
Because your wife is saying.
I don't know. I think that would have been like a good, hey, this is the kind of people I associate, just FYI, but we've locked it in, so you can't run away now.
Exactly. So I gave them to him then. And then he had, it was actually really like, it was a fun, it was, as I said, it was cold, because it was Michigan and it was middle of October. But they had their ceremony outside on a private beach, and it was really awesome. It was a good time. They had their reception at a, God, I don't even know what the best way to describe it. It was like, it was a, I want to say it was a steakhouse. Like, that's the best way to describe it. I think it was a steakhouse is the best way to call it. But during the reception, they had these little Polaroid cameras, and for something to remember everybody by, because it was weird too. Like, not weird, but it was different because it wasn't like the traditional, the entire family's there. They had a very select group of people, which was really cool that, one, I made that list, and two, that everybody made it. But they had it they had these little Polaroids, and they wanted you to take selfies. Well, of course, I know Magnate from being online with them. So I really knew nobody who was there, except for a few of the people that were at the bachelor party. So I'm literally introducing myself for the first time to all these different people. So when it came down to the end, they wanted to have selfies, a whole bunch of selfies put into into this like collage of a book. And I said, all right, well, it was towards the end of the night. I went, I'm going to just go nuts. So I took the Polaroid cameras, and I literally walked up to everybody, mostly people I didn't even know. And it was like, hey, I'm Cecil. I'm going to do a gag for the book. So I'd smile and I'd take a selfie with them. And I went around and I did like that to everybody. And I filled up pages of their guest book with just pictures, and I had like 2 whole pages of just me taping pictures of me with selfies with other people, and underneath or next to each one I wrote, hi, I'm Cecil, hi, I'm Cecil, hi, I'm Cecil. And then on the 3rd page, I put one selfie of me, and in big letters I went, hi, I'm Cecil. So they've got like 2 pages of me with snapshots with everybody, and then like one big one of just, hi, I'm Cecil, right at the end of it. So I was like, yeah, that'll be a good final gag there.
Reasons not to invite Cecil to your parties and weddings.
I did warn him. I said, hey, look, you don't want to bring me, because all I'm going to bring you is all I'm going to leave you is memories. And I told him that, and you know what? I left a couple there. It was a good time.
Yeah, you certainly did, and it sounds like you had a great time, which is amazing. Like, weddings are always like one of those places or one of those events where you either have a great time or you just kind of stand around watching things happen because you're not really part of it. Like, I've been to so many weddings where I went because I was either acting as the person's date at the time, or I was invited because I knew one person that was involved in the wedding, and I didn't know anyone else, and I generally just stood around doing absolutely nothing, just kind of watching things happen.
Yeah, those are always a little bit more interesting, where you don't quite know anybody, or you've got to kind of like make things happen. But that's like, so I really always considered myself more of an introvert than an extrovert. Turns out that I am an extrovert. Because I would always, I always felt that I was kind of like really played things, low key. Didn't really try to bother people and stuff like that. But then I went to this wedding, and I realized that, oh no, I'm an extrovert compared to everybody here. I'm an extrovert. So I had a really, really fun time. And that's what, like when you go to a wedding, it's one of those things of you kind of just gotta like let it go. Just let it happen. I can't be afraid of, well, who's this person? Or are they going to like me? Or, geez, I don't know this person. What's going to happen here? Just let her rip. And I guess I'm pretty good at that.
No, you've always been pretty good at kind of meshing with whatever group you're with.
Yeah, it's just fun to do. Just fun. Just have fun. That's the thing. Just have fun.
No, I refuse. No fun.
No, you have to. Just have fun.
Nope, no fun.
Just do it. Just do it.
Nope.
Do
I
it.
don't want it. Don't want it. Can't have it.
Do
No
it.
fun.
Just do it. Do it. Well, next, we're completely blown by everything here, but next segment, State of Games. State of Games is where we talk about what we've been playing for the last week, or we pontificate of how we feel gaming is in general. So, I'll give you my State of Games because I've been playing actually a ton of stuff, and I'm pretty excited because I've been playing a ton of stuff. I'm actually currently playing Vampire Survivor because they've done a bunch of updates to this game, and I literally haven't played any of them. So I figured now would be a good time for me to try to jump in, play some of that. I've been playing a game called, now I'm going to forget the name of it, so I'm going to look it up quick. Because I'm a horrible human being, yeah. Let me click. Yeah. Oh, I was playing Aliens Fireteam Elite. I was playing that with Wolf the other night. That's, they've added some stuff to that. That's made that fun. I've been playing a game called The Ascent. It's kind of a cyberpunk, isometric shoot 'em up game. It's fun. It's interesting. Final Fantasy VI. Been playing a bunch of that. And a game that I jumped into that I'm really enjoying is a game called Tunic. That game is, the best way I could describe it is old school Legend of Zelda. Like, do you remember the old school Legend of Zelda where you didn't know anything? Like you had no information on what to do. You just randomly started walking around and doing stuff. And then you just figured out the game. Like, that's what this is, only that's what this is to like the nth degree. Because not only do you not know anything, you're literally picking up pages to a manual. And that manual is how to play the game. Like, I didn't learn how to do, there's this like shield maneuver where you roll and strike. No, not shield maneuver. It's a sword maneuver where you roll and then strike. I didn't even know that existed until I got that page of the book. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So everything you pick up is in a different language and you can't understand half of it. Like, this is awesome. It's very heavily on exploration and figuring out, what's happening and what's going on and making it all work. It's worth a play if you haven't. I think it's only like $30. It's not expensive at all.
That's not bad. I mean, for a game like that, that definitely would be worth just popping in and seeing how it goes. Yeah,
if you haven't played it, it's worth a shot. It's worth a playthrough at least once. But what's your state of games there, man?
I honestly haven't really been playing too much. I keep meaning to get back into like streaming the games I'm playing, but with everything that's been happening, I just really haven't had time to kind of like play games. But now that things are quieting down, I started getting back into Destiny 2 with some friends because, of course, I keep getting dragged back into that game. And they're currently doing their
Festival
Halloween.
of the Lost.
Yeah, they're doing the Festival of the Lost, and it's really repetitive, but it's mindless fun. Like, hop in, play like 3 rounds of the Haunt with my friends, and then I just kind of like go off and do my own thing. But I've been trying to get back in. I still have to play and beat Mortuary Assistant. And then I also want to get, because they have a game coming out next month that's that spiritual successor to Dead Space, and I can't remember the name of the game.
Like G.N.A Protocol or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. And
made by the same developers, I think, or same programmers or something.
They may have something to do with it. I know PUBG's involved somehow, and it kind of made me less excited for the game, but I still want to see how the game comes out. And then I also saw that they're redoing Dead Space and re-releasing Dead Space again for 2023, and I'm tempering my expectations on that one, but I'm super excited for that. There's a couple other games like I really do need to beat and go through my backlog of games, which I keep saying that, but I'll probably never do, but I do want to. And then I also need to get Elden Ring still, but I need to play Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice and beat that one first, because I have to beat that game first before I move on from anything else from Software.
Yeah, so you can keep all the Souls-like games that you want, so I'm not going to play any of those. Dead Space, the new Dead Space, I am so frigging excited for. Mind-numbingly excited for. I've been looking at stills and shots of it side by side with the original, and dude, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Like, if it's once it becomes pre-order time, I'm pre-ordering it. I don't care. I hate pre-ordering, but I love Dead Space, and I am hopeful. This isn't an expectation. This is a hope. I'm hoping that they learn from Dead Space 3 and how they did the online co-op, and they're going to make online co-op like that. Because, dude, seriously, if they do, like, just for a second, I want you to imagine you're going through the Ishimura as Isaac Clarke, and then I going next to you, I'm somebody else going through the Ishimura as well. Like, dude. And if they played it just like they did the OG, the original part 3, where you see stuff I don't, I see stuff you don't, and all weird stuff, like that right there, that's the shit. Now, I don't expect it. If it shows up, I will be pleasantly surprised, but my expectation is not going to be there. But man, if it was, like, can you imagine that for just a second?
It will be terrifying and awesome at the same time. And I hope they do it that way. We'll see what happens. It would be amazing if they did it that way, though.
Dude, I would have the biggest scare boner ever.
I agree. I would probably be not wanting to play and then have to work the very next day because I would not sleep at all. I would just be,
I'd be calling in sick. I'd seriously, I'd just be like, I'm not coming in today. Like, what's wrong? I didn't sleep at all. Oh man, are you feeling okay? No, I mean, other than not sleeping, I'm not dying or anything. I'm just, like that happened. Yeah, man, like, I'm so excited for that. And I'm hoping, and this is one of my hopes, I'm hoping that they don't make just a full-on scene-for-scene remake of the first. I hope that they take some poetic license and, change some stuff around, make some things new, make some things better. Because, like, the original Dead Space is good. Don't get me wrong. It's a great game. But it's just like when they redid Resident Evil. Like, the OG Resident Evil was a good, fun game. It had a lot of nostalgia to it, but when they did the remake for GameCube, holy shit. Like, that was a game.
It was. I didn't like some of the aspects of that game.
Of the new one or the old one?
Of the new one. Like, I didn't like how Mr. X followed you incessantly for so long. Like, I just felt like that kind of took away from how you saw him. Like, in
Resident Evil or Resident Evil 2?
Sorry, Resident Evil 2. Sorry, Resident Evil 2.
Okay. I was talking about the OG Resident Evil compared to the GameCube remake.
I loved the GameCube remake, though. It was a shot for shot, but I love the GameCube remake.
Well, so, like, that's the best thing, is that the GameCube remake was not a shot for shot of the OG Resident Evil that came out for PlayStation.
Wasn't it? It kind of was.
Oh no, dude! They added stuff. They put in. There was so much stuff that they added to that game that really fleshed it out. Like there's the one. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. It's one of the back corners. I think it's where you first meet Rebecca, and she's like hidden in that closet, and she sprays you with first aid spray, like it's gonna kill you. But it's like where you first meet her, and there's like when you meet her, there like that whole hallway just seemed, I don't know, like it was missing something. Like there was something supposed to be there in that hallway, and they just didn't do it. But then in the remake, they had that whole hallway. It goes out super long. It had that piece of armor that chased you down it. Like it was what it was supposed to be. Like it full on felt like it was supposed to be. Yeah,
unfortunately, I don't remember. It's such a long time ago that I don't remember it.
Oh God, yeah. As I say, there was so much added to that game, and it was a welcome add. At least I felt it was a welcome add. I'm sure there are people there out there that'll be like, "No, fucking suck. You suck for liking it." And I'll be like, "Yeah, whatever. I guess I suck." But yeah, the Resident Evil 2 remake, I agree with you that it was annoying that Mr. X followed you everywhere you went. Like, and I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to build that angst so that it was harder to explore, but that was one of the things I really liked about Resident Evil. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy exploration in video games. Like,
I do too.
I love the getting lost in the immersion of just playing. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I also liked in Resident Evil going back and looking at the lore too. Like just going through every room and trying to find like every little piece of letter that they had in communications. And it was just really annoying because I got to the point in time in that game where I'm like, do I really want to go and explore this area? Because he's just going to follow me and it's going to suck. I know after a while he stops following you, but I just felt like, when we were kids and like he like punches through the wall, that terrifies you. Like you're like, oh my God. And this time around, I'm just like, this guy again.
Well, yeah, like I think they were trying to recapture that, that feeling of angst of where, you're like, oh my God, the guy busted through the wall. In the original, you expected it to happen. Like once you went through that once, you're like, oh, well, he's going to bust through this wall. So you kind of got out of the scare. I think they were trying to keep it, I don't know, maybe replayable. Where it's like, oh man, if we keep having him chase around, he could just show up anywhere and this will freak him out. I don't think they thought it through and were like, oh, this is going to get annoying. Like people are just going to be genuinely wanting to just explore. And they can.
It was kind of like when they did Breath of the Wild. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. Let me explore. Your weapons have durability and they'll break as soon as you pick them up. And I'm like, oh, so exploring as much as I want is going to be kind of tedious because now I have to continuously keep getting new weapons and this is going to suck. Those things which basically make the game more of a drag than anything else to play, I think really subtract from the enjoyability of it. And I know the developers and their plan, like, this is going to be great, but they obviously don't think things through. And they're like, well, I mean, after 15 hours of gameplay or after a few hours, is it still going to be great or is it still going to be like, eh? Because if they really wanted to do it a little differently, they could have just had it so that way Mr. X did different things each playthrough you played. Like he slightly altered what he did, slightly alter where he appears. Maybe one playthrough he kicks down the door, comes in and slaps you. Maybe another one he comes through the wall. It's something they could do if they really wanted to. But
yeah, definitely. And I think it boils down to a lot what they're. Every game developer has got to, or is trying to extend the game time. They want to make sure that if you're playing, you're getting what you feel is, your money's worth. And I mean, plenty of people do it. Destiny does it. They're trying to make sure that you feel like you're getting your money's worth. But it's a slog on a lot of that. The grind is it's painful at times of just how much you got to slog through it. And yeah, it does extend the game time, but you're right. There's just so many different ways that you could extend it without artificially extending it. It's just like when, what is it, like RNGesus, where you make certain weapons blocked behind RNG and it just becomes, I don't know, painful trying to slog through and get all those different weapons that you want.
But I just setting the record clear, Bungie, aka Destiny 2, does not care whether or not you feel whether or not you got your full pay out of it. Like they, from the very get-go, like they're all about that grind. They're it's just really weird how they have their play set up right now, because it almost feels like it's pay to win, except there really is no win in that game. But everything you do, like, is just, they just come at you, want more money, and then they take away. They're not going to anymore, but I want to preface this with, they did agree that they're no longer going to archive stuff, but the level progression is off. The minute you get back into the game, it's a grind right from day one, and it's just bad.
Oh, dude,
I know
it's a
on
grind.
this a lot.
It's a grind on every. It's not even just day one. It's a grind for every single one. Like, you start playing the game, they release new content. It's a grind to get back to that content. The next week rolls around, they release a weapon. It's a grind to get to that weapon. Festival of the Lost. It's a grind to complete the quest for Festival of the Lost. Not that it's bad. I think the Festival of the Lost is really cool and fun and whatnot.
Unless you played it last year, then it's literally the same thing.
Well, I mean, the Festival of Lost is just the Festival of Lost. It's just like the Christmas one, where it's, what the hell they call it?
They need to
Not
celebrate
Festival.
Festivus.
They need to celebrate what?
Festivus, the errands of grievances.
I don't think that they could muster that, because that would be horrendous. I mean, it'd be hilarious, but it'd be horrendous.
Yeah, they definitely wouldn't survive that at all.
No. No, they would not make it. There's a new Star Ocean coming out. I just saw that before we started the show. I'm pretty excited about that. That's awesome. Did you ever play Star Oceans? Any of the Star Oceans?
No, I never played that, unfortunately. So I'm a bad person when it comes to that.
Oh, no, it's not a bad person. Just some people played them, some people didn't. Star Ocean was a good. It wasn't as good as like Xenogears, but it was a good sci-fi RPG. And there weren't a lot of great sci-fi RPGs out there. Like, I'm trying to think off the top of my head some great sci-fi RPGs, and I'm actually coming up blank. What are some good sci-fi RPGs? There we go. There's the question.
I mean, I know I've played some really good sci-fi RPGs, but I am drawing a blank.
Yeah, like I can't come up with a single one right now. Come on, this is impossible. We got to be able to come up with some sci-fi RPGs, like
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger is definitely a science fiction RPG. Yep.
And it was good. Like unfortunately, it's like I'm gonna say like all the other ones, Secret of Evermore, which I actually beat recently. Well, not recently, like a few months ago. And then Secret of Mana, those ones, any of the Final Fantasies, Borderlands, Dishonored. I like the Dishonored series, although I gave myself a hernia playing that one. I went through the first time I played through Dishonored and Dishonored 2, I went through without being seen and no blood spilled, and it was a drain on my soul.
Sorry to laugh. I've actually never played Dishonored. I don't know that Dishonored, does that count? That's more of like a first-person adventure more than...
I mean, you kind of gain... it might fall into like that, but it's kind of RPG-ish because things you do in the game make the outcome different, and you do kind of level up.
All right, I'll say RPG elements. Like Skyrim I call like a first-person RPG, because that is full-on, like, in your face, I am an RPG.
I mean, I'm going to read through a list here. So the Outer Worlds...
Outer Worlds.
Automata.
Oh, yeah. That's the... that's
Horizon
all made by
Zero Dawn.
They were made by Obsidian, right? Outer Worlds?
Shadowrun Returns. I guess Fallout New Vegas.
Is that really
EVE
a sci-fi?
Online. I mean, technically, I guess the Fallout series could be considered sci-fi because it does involve aliens.
I'll give EVE Online. Yeah.
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex. That is definitely
sorry.
science fiction.
Deus Ex. System Shock 2. Chrono Trigger's on the list. Earthbound.
Earth.
I can't believe I
there
forgot
was
about
aliens.
Earthbound,
Yeah. There was aliens.
Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic.
That would definitely be sci-fi. Yeah, why could we
That
not
is a
think
great
of
game.
any of these?
Honestly, I think we're just both tired. Like, and also Mass Effect 2. Like, I
Oh
think we're
God,
just both
Mass
exhausted.
Effect.
Yeah.
How do we not come up with Mass Effect?
I'm going to blame the fact that we're both coming off work, and we just haven't had enough enemas for the day, I guess.
I guess it's time to butt chug some whiskey.
Oh, great. He's getting the boofing going.
Hey, gotta make it happen like the captain. You can't leave a man behind.
Leave no boof behind.
Yeah, God, there really has been some fantastic RPG or sci-fi RPGs. Like, damn, I can't believe I fucking forgot those. Like, that's
Fortunately, not recently for the most part.
Nah,
there really
like-
hasn't been any memorable games that come out recently. Like, it drives me crazy that, like, when I think about what is, like, the best game that's come out recently, and I have to, like, sit there and mull over, like, what games did come out recently that I actually managed to buy. Like, if I go, I'm going to open up my Steam library right now, and I can't even remember. I think the last game I bought was Mortuary Assistant, and before that, I'm pretty sure it was Sekiro. Like, it's been, I don't buy games much anymore because they just don't come out.
So I guess I got to ask this question: when you say no good games have come out, are you referring to like AAA titles or?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a bad way to phrase that. Games that I've personally been interested in playing. Now, there have been games come out, like Nintendo Switch does have a lot of RPGs and a lot of games I do want to play for it, but I don't have a Switch. There are games that came out for PlayStation that I really want to play, but I don't own a PlayStation or PlayStation 5. There have been no Xbox games that have come out that I wanted to play.
Yeah,
so
that's been a shame. Like, I really... Like, I don't know what, like, Xbox is really just holding steady that Game Pass is going to be the thing that sustains them. And I'm really disappointed in this, like, in this maneuver.
And the one thing, too, that I found was really funny is that when I moved to this new apartment, my roommate has an Xbox One X. And I was just like, oh, cool. But then I realized I wasn't going to play my Xbox anyway because I haven't, like, I was one of those people that got an Xbox shortly after. I still have my Halo Edition green Xbox, the translucent green one.
Oh yeah,
I still have that, and I would get the Xbox 360. Then I would get the special edition Xbox 360. Then I get the the Xbox that came after that, special edition version of that Xbox, and I would keep investing in it. But then, like, when the Xbox came out last, I was like, this isn't. It's not. There's just nothing. I didn't like the layout of it. It was just really clunky and weird.
You're talking about the X?
Like, yeah, the X. And then it's really hard. They don't like name it like Xbox 360. Oh yeah, the one that came after Xbox 360, right? That was the
Xbox One.
Xbox One. Thank you, Xbox One. Because now it's called Series X. The name calling of these things. I don't even track it. That's how little I care about it now. Because I was all about Xbox. I was a total Xbox fanboy.
Yeah, dude, you 100% were. Like, you were like, yeah, Xbox or go home. It's like,
yeah,
all
pretty
right.
much. I was like, everyone's like, yeah, you want to play PlayStation? I was like, Sony. So I was totally about it. And then, like, I realized that there's no good games coming out for it anymore. So I stopped playing it. And then we moved. And I realized I don't need my Xbox because I don't play it anymore. So then, like, I just put it on a shelf, and now it's just sitting on a shelf crying because it's not plugged in. My roommate's like, yeah, just sign into my Xbox with your sign-in ID. And I'm like, there's no point because I'm never going to play anything on it. Like, I think the last time I actually logged in and played on my Xbox, I was playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Oh, great game. Like,
Wonderful
if you're going to play
game.
something, play that game.
Yeah, and then I swapped off to that one, and I started playing Call of Cthulhu too, because I happened to have that game on that Xbox as well. But that was it, and they weren't even like titles that were specifically meant for Xbox. They're just older games that they have ports of. So yeah, that was it. And then, like, now I'm thinking to myself, oh, what's a game that's exclusive to Xbox that I have to make? I have to have this, and I can't think of any at all.
That's a shame, man, dude. Because, like, I've said this before, and I still hold by it. Like, I love to listen to people, like, even if they're talking trash about something else, I love to hear people, and I love to listen to people who are passionate about whatever it may be. And dude, you were passionate about Xbox. Like, you were like, yes, I have drank the Kool-Aid. I am passionate. And like, you would diss Sony. You would diss everything else and be like, Xbox or go home. And I always loved listening to it because I was like, yeah, man, that's passion right there. Like, I can get behind that because that gets me fired up. Like, you hear somebody else who's like that fired up and you're like, yeah, I'm fired up now. This is awesome.
Dude, because back then, like back when I was so up Microsoft's butt that I was totally like an Apple fanboy. Like, I was like, you can say nothing that would sway me away from Microsoft. Like, they dropped Halo, and I loved Halo. Like, I remember going to every single midnight release of a Halo game, or Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo Wars, and then getting like the top tier, I'm going to come home with a Master Chief helmet kind of BS. And I was like, this is it. Like, I loved it. The fact that like the blade setup they had for the Xbox like 360, that is still my favorite UI for any console I've seen. I don't know if you remember that blade setup where you basically go through blades.
I do remember the blades.
Yeah,
I
and you could
actually
play music too.
Yeah, I took my Xbox One, installed XMBC on it, and I remember that I literally set it up with those blades so that I could play it because I loved the way that looked. It looked so sleek. It looked hot. I loved it.
But now I'm looking at a list of I'm gonna read off a list of games that are coming out for Xbox in October, and you tell me if any of these are of any interest to you or if you've even heard of them. So we have Dakar Desert Rally, Overwatch 2, No More Heroes 3, Astraeus, Curse of the Stars, I'm probably mispronouncing that, Lego Brick Tales, The Last Auric Crew? Man, I'm so bad at pronouncing things. Dragon Ball The Breakers, NHL 23, Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, Slime Speedway, PGA Tour, Scorn, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, Plague Tale Requiem, Them's Fightin' Herds, Norco, Warhammer 4000, Gotham Knights, New Tales from the Borderlands, Persona 5 Royal, Saturnalia, Signalis, Star Ocean The Divine Force, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Resident Evil Village, Shadows of Rose DLC, Gunfire Reborn.
So there was a couple in there. The Dragon Ball Z Breakers, I'm interested in.
I don't think that technically counts, because that's not really an exclusive. So you could play that on Sony as well, PlayStation as well. Like, was there any Xbox original titles or Xbox only games in there?
I don't know which ones were just Xbox only on there.
I don't think there's a single one. Here's November's releases: WRC Generations, Humankind, Sonic Frontiers, Saint Qatar, Goat Simulator 3. Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil in Me. Sorry, there was an ad that popped up and pushed everything down. I lost my place.
So The Devil in Me, I will probably buy on every system I own, only because I love supermassive games and I will give them money. Like, I will throw money at them.
And then we have Evil West Just Dance 2023 edition, which I know you're going to buy. And then Flight Simulator 40th Anniversary. I don't know what The Devil in Me is. What's that one about?
H.H. Holmes, The Murder Hotel?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it like a game series, or it's $40? I'll probably buy that too for Steam though.
So the Dark Picture Anthologies is a so do you ever watch the old horror movie anthologies where it's like literally God, they're like short stories, but they're horrors. You ever seen those? Like where they're like there was a movie called The Black Cat, and it had a whole bunch of or Tales from the Crypt.
I was gonna say Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Dark Side. all were like just anthologies where you literally got a whole bunch of short stories. And that's what the Dark Picture anthologies are. It's literally, it's told from the perspective of a guy called the curator. And the curator is literally telling you like, hey, here's all the things that happened. This is, you know, you're playing it from this angle. And like it's, so did you ever play, Until Dawn? Or any of the Telltale series, like Undead?
I played the one I played the Walking Dead series on that one, and then there was another one too I played. I just can't remember the name.
It should be like Wolf Among Us or Batman Arkham something.
I think it was The Wolf Among Us.
So the Dark Picture anthologies, basically all the Supermassive games, are played like that. They're I call them interactive stories. That's what I call them, because they're interactive stories. Like that's just what they are. They're interactive stories. You know, you play. Like you play interactively. You know, you have quick time events. You're choosing what happens. It's kind of like your choose your own adventure.
You have such a way with words.
It's hard to describe without like calling it something that's already there. Like it's a choose your own adventure. You can do different things in it that, like the different things that you can pull off in it all happen to be, you know, they're narrative driven. So they're all story driven. And I don't know. It's just, they're super fun.
And the Callisto Protocol, of course, is coming out in 2022.
Callisto Protocol, thank you.
Yeah, it's coming out in December 2022. So it is coming out. And I am absolutely very interested in that particular game. I am, once again, I know we mentioned that PUBG also had a little bit of a say in how that game goes. So I'm kind of tempering my expectations on that one, but they might do a really good job. But I definitely, and then following month, of course, in January 2023, Dead Space is coming out.
Yes.
So I'm definitely getting that one. I'm sad to see that the Protocol game is single player only. So there will be.
I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because the original Dead Space was single player only. And be perfectly honest, I'm expecting this new Dead Space that comes out to be single player only. Like,
it is. I just checked. It's single player only.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting it to be single player only. And while I'm sad it's single player only, it's not like I'm not going, oh man, like I was totally expecting it to not be single player, and now it's single player. That sucks. No, I was expecting it to be, and I'm okay with it being. I'd like them to add in that multiplayer. Because goddamn, would that be effing boss?
I mean, I'm assuming they will. If this does well enough, they'll probably continue the series.
I hope so.
It already looks pretty terrifying. I just hope they do the because one thing I did notice that when you're playing the game, the grates that the enemies jump out of, they always like slightly different colored because they're animated, so they're slightly different colored from the rest of it. So you can always tell when they're going to come out versus when they're not going to. And I just noticed I need to pick up that game too, and it's on sale. Because my friend plays a game called Hunt Showdown.
Oh, dude, I have that. If you want to play, let me know. I'm down.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'm not going to pick it up today because I need to pay bills first, but definitely will absolutely pick up that game probably Friday. Because I just noticed it's on sale. Half off, too.
Dude, yeah, I'm totally down. Well, bear in mind, even though the game's half off, there's a bunch of DLCs for different characters.
Yeah, it looks like the Platinum Bundle, which has buy the Platinum Bundle, save 23. It's buy the Deluxe Bundle, and it has a bunch of DLCs for characters, and that's $31. So that's still like more than acceptable for gaming budgets as it goes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to minimize my Steam, or else I'm going to basically just break out my wallet and start buying shit.
I mean, it's not the worst thing to do.
I mean, for me, it is. Like I'll be like, oh, I want this game. Let me add this game to my backlog. Let me buy this game too. Let me go check to see what Humble Bundle has,
Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
which I'm actually going to do right now.
Humble Bundle is a great game purchasing service with a twist. You get to also get to donate to charity simultaneously.
It's like a dream come true. And look at that. What do we actually have for Humble Bundle?
Yeah, what's that on Humble Bundle?
It looks like they have featured as Mortal Kombat 2 Ultimate Bundle. What are the gaming bundles? Let's see. Games for bundles here. They have Melee Mayhem, Baldur's Gate, and Beyond. Let's take a look at what Payday 2 Ultimate Score is all about.
Oh, that's literally got like Payday with every Payday DLC. Like, it's literally every Payday DLC that you can get.
My God. Oh my God, that's so much. That's so much DLC. Jeez,
Right?
crow. What about the Melee bundle? What's that one all about? Oh, that's just a bunch of games that have.
Yeah, it's like Mortal Kombat and stuff.
Yeah,
Not
it's got
bad,
Mortal
just
Kombat.
a lot of Mortal Kombat.
I think my speed would be more the Baldur's Gate one. It's got Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Like,
dude, I
Platinum or
used to
whatever.
play that. You remember when I used to play Ultima Online? I put more hours in Neverwinter Nights than I did Ultima Online.
Dude,
I play Ultima Online all the time.
I would still play Ultima Online now, and it's still out. Like, you can still play it. It's just like $19 a month, and I'm not paying $19 a month.
Oh,
for
I just
fucking
play in
Ultima.
free servers if I do play. Like I popped into one of the servers I used to play on, and my character's still there. And I have a bunch of like old rare stuff too that you can't get anymore because they sunsetted that stuff. But
Oh,
yeah,
no,
there's a list. There's a list of free servers you can bounce onto. And
Yeah,
play.
but the problem with the free shards is that they are technically illegal, and they can be shut down. So that's why I don't play on it anymore.
Yeah, that's very true. It's really surprising that they even care at this point in time because the game. Like, I can't imagine that game having much more time left in its thing. I should probably actually check that out, see if the one I play on is even there.
I would say if you're going to Google what the player base is for Ultima Online.
I can do that. Yeah. Is it really $20 a month too?
Yeah, it's still $20 a month, man. Isn't that wild?
So the subscribers for Ultima Online was about 200 in 2020. In March of 2020, it was 261,000, or basically 261.5K.
261,000 people?
Yeah, 261,000 people were playing that, and with
Holy shit!
with at one point in time about 5,000 active players at once. So not a ton, but honestly, you do the math, and that's still a lot of scratch.
Dude,
for
that's a lot
that
of people,
is, yeah.
man. That's a ton of people.
That's
Holy
nowhere
crap.
near World of Warcraft, but yeah, I get you.
I will put money that if you take the cumulative number of players year to year for World of Warcraft, and you take the cumulative number of players for Ultima Online, I think Ultima Online, because Ultima Online's been out for a lot longer than WoW. I bet you'd get a run for your money.
I can't believe I'm actually downloading the client for that now.
Dude, I seriously would still play that game.
Actually, I think I was still playing. It didn't even download. I'm guessing that the site is so old. Oh my god, it is. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, I forgot it's owned by EA.
I thought Sony had it.
Nope. I went to this or EA/Origin. This game is now part of that group. So Sony may have had it at one point in time, but
Yeah, I thought SOE had that.
yeah, that is unfortunate. Which basically means that yeah, no, we're not doing that. But yeah, it's definitely weird on that one. Cuz I'm trying to download it. Classic client. There we go. And it took me to the EA page, and I was going to download 100 different things at once.
Huh. Well, it's still alive. I wonder how the free shards work with it now then.
I remember at one point in time, you had to stop at a specific update because if you downloaded the latest stuff, they were always operating like 2 or 3 DLCs behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. They might, I don't know. I'm going to try it and see what happens. We'll see.
Got another MMO that I played the hell out of was Star Wars Galaxies.
Yeah, that was one I never got into, but
it was not the best. It really was not. But I loved playing that game, especially once they did the release to light the jump to light speed was the name of it. Where you could actually get what's his faces. My brain is melting. Where you could build ships.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I cannot remember what it is. I never played it myself.
Well, I know you just said that there isn't, but is there any game that you are looking forward to?
I mean, just the ones that we listed out, the Callisto Protocol, which I didn't even know was coming out until you pointed it out, and I was like, oh yeah, I do want that game. And then Dead Space, that's really it. There are games for the Nintendo Switch that I do want, but I'm also like, at this point in time, I don't even know if I want to Switch because, yeah, it's fun for all intents and purposes, and maybe that's just, maybe I'm just getting older and I'm losing sight of what those sorts of things are meant for, but like I really want Nintendo to make something along the lines of a Steam Deck. I just think they could make it better.
I don't know, man. Like, have you played with the Steam Deck yet?
No, I haven't had the opportunity to.
Dude, I full on, when I bought the Steam Deck, I bought it with the assumption I was buying a piece of trash, but I was buying it because, like most everything else, the first iteration of whatever it is always sucks, and then it's the next one that they really nail it. Like, just friggin' knock it out of the park. Like, I'll give you, for instance, PlayStation. The original PlayStation, it wasn't really that good. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, this is the best thing in the world. It's the first jump into 3D. It was really not a great game. But the PlayStation 2, or game system, sorry. But the PlayStation 2, now that was a great freaking console. Like, hands down, that was a great console. So that's why I was fully expecting the Steam Deck to be an utter piece of garbage. And then when I got it, I play it a lot. Like I went to Michigan. I was using it in Michigan. Last time I went up to New York, I played the entire latest expedition for No Man's Sky off of it. I mean, I really use it a lot. Surprisingly more than I thought I would. And it's like, for the price point that you have now, for the price of it, and the pound for pound, dollar per game you play. I mean, it really, like, dude, it plays Elden Ring. It does. It plays Elden Ring. I was not expecting a handheld device to play Elden Ring at all. Let alone as well as it does. Just, I don't know, blew my mind, man. Blew my fucking mind.
For like 5 minutes before it crashes because the battery's empty, right?
No, the battery lasts a couple of hours. The battery life is probably the worst part of the whole system, but still, it lasts a couple of hours. And if you go get a 45 watt battery pack with just a USB to or USB-C to USB-C on it, that's what I do. And that's what I did when I was like on the train and stuff. I literally just plugged the battery pack into it, and it gave an extra couple of hours right out of that, just having that battery pack plugged in. So, I mean, yeah, the battery is a little rough, but still, you're getting a couple of hours of good gameplay out of it. Like, I'm just super impressed on what we got. Not to mention that they've got the what the hell is it called? Where is it? Do I have? Oh, RetroArch. You literally have RetroArch that they released on Steam that's already configured perfectly for the Steam Deck. So you take all of your old ROMs, you throw them on your Steam Deck, and you literally can play all of your old ROMs on the Steam Deck. It's just an awesome device. And I don't know if Nintendo could do a better job. Like, I'd hope that they could, but I don't know that they could. I really don't. Valve did a very impressive job to me for what the device is. I really, as I said, I so was expecting a lot worse, and I was blown away.
I'm going to have to mess with it now. I know a friend of mine bought it, and he got the dock that turns it into a laptop, which is really cool.
Oh, I didn't even get that. I didn't even know they were... I was saying Valve's not selling that yet.
No, I think it's a third-party thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was going to say, because you literally... Like, I can plug in a USB-C dock or port replicator, and I can stream from my Steam Deck up to my 4K monitor. Now, you want to know something that's really going to blow your mind, though? You can plug in your Oculus or your Meta Quest 2 into your Steam Deck and use VR off your Steam Deck.
That's insane. I don't know. Like, I really do want a handheld, and I might ultimately end up getting a Steam Deck, but I'm really kind of hoping that Nintendo comes out with like a Switch Pro, which is what I want. Something that has good battery life, balanced battery life to performance, obviously, but something that does have good battery life and can play the games I want. Like, if Nintendo announced that they were going to go back and be like, hey, we're going to add in all the old SNES, NES games, and Super Nintendo games to our library, we're working on adding almost all the ones we can. Like, if they get Final Fantasy VI on there, Secret of Evermore, Secret of Mana series, I'd be down on that. Like, I would go out and buy one tomorrow.
Well, you could get all of that on your Steam Deck. All of those you just described, you can play on your Steam Deck today. And Nintendo, so I'm definitely going to give you that. Nintendo's got, like, I know the Switch lasts, I want to say, like 6 hours. I want to say, like, I think I've only ever gotten 4 hours out of mine, but I think it can last as long as 6. But I'm looking at the Steam Deck page right now, and it says, I mean, it's quoting that the battery can last anywhere from 2 to 6 hours, or 2 to 8 hours. So I guess depending on the game you're playing.
Probably depending on the game and the brightness, yeah.
But you can get some good playtime out of it.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to kind of getting my hands on one and seeing if I want to actually buy it or not. But it'll all be in the future. The first things first is updating this rig. I don't know. I kind of want to sit on the Zotac or however you want to pronounce that graphics card company. I know that 3090 Ti is on sale, and it's for a good price, but I might want to wait for... My choice card was an MSI Gaming Trio. It's the one I currently have now, just the 2080 version of it, and I really like it. It's been a solid graphics card.
Oh, yeah.
At the same time, with the 4090 series come out, the boat anchors those are going to be, I don't know if NVIDIA's even releasing the 3080s and 3090 Ti's. It just seems like you can't find them anymore.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the cards that are going on sale now, and I'm thinking to myself, with the 4090 coming out, there's going to be very little reason for them to continue making. So if you find a good deal on it now, I think, like, that's why... Now, this is not a gripe. This is not being upset, because I'm not. I'm way more happy that I went to a wedding, but I was going to use that money to buy parts. So I spent that money.
Body parts or gaming parts?
Body parts. Dude, I'm a necromancer, of course.
What were you going to buy graphics card wise?
So I was going to go for a 3090. Like, that's what I was aiming for. Either a 3080 Ti or a 3090.
Yeah, I'm going to get a 3090. I preferably want a 3090 Ti just so I'm good for like the next 5 years.
But I went to Michigan instead, which, hands down, if it came up again and I was in the same situation, I would go to Michigan again in a heartbeat. But because I went to Michigan, I'm now not buying parts right now. So I'm trying to save up a little bit of money. I'm going to see if I can, hopefully I'm going to save up, and I'm going to be able to, there's still going to be some of those specific gaming, video cards on sale, because if I upgrade my video card, I'm going to upgrade my chip and my MOBO at the same time, because I'm still running the 1950 Threadripper that I made back in 2017. Now, granted, this thing has still been rocking everything that I've been playing. So I have no gripes whatsoever. I mean, this thing has been a workhorse, but I think it's time to retire it and just make it my, it's with its 16, or how many cores does this thing have? That's 16 or 32? 32 cores. Yeah, so this with its 32 cores, I could turn this into a virtual box and have it running all sorts of other stuff in my house than having it just being my everyday rig.
I'm really sad I missed, because I totally forgot Prime Day was here. That Zotac Gaming 3090 Ti was $999 on Prime Day.
Dude.
Or Prime Day 2, whatever. So like right now I think it's like $149 more. So that's $11.49 right now.
That's still not bad, man.
It's
that's
not
still
a bad
decent price.
Yeah, I'm also kicking myself in the head because the Gaming Trail one I was talking about, like that was on sale for $800 and some odd, and I was like, I'll pick it up tomorrow. And then I went by and I looked down and I said they were like sold out, and I was like, damn it, I really should not have stepped. I keep doing that. Like, keep finding a really good deal. I'll be like, I'll sit on it. Let me think about it overnight, because I don't know. Like, man. I have this reservation about spending that much money on a graphics card. I remember back when I used to blow like no more than $250 on a graphics card, and still it was a decent graphics card.
Dude, I remember back in the day where I would go to tournaments and play and win at tournaments to win my computer parts, because I had no money. So I literally would go and play in tournaments and win all different parts for my computer. Like, that's how I got my first, it was a 6800 GT, I think was the card. And it was like NVIDIA's top card at the time. And I won that. And that held me for years. That held me for almost a decade.
You're invoking memories of us at your place drinking and playing Diablo 2.
Dude, you don't have do you have Diablo 3?
Yeah, I got Diablo 3.
Dude, yeah, we should totally play that. I just picked it back up because it was $19. It's $19 right now for the ethereal version or whatever on PlayStation. So I picked that up so I could have it on PlayStation as well.
Is it cross-platform enabled? Can you play?
No, I also have it on my PC. I also have it on my PC.
Oh, okay, I have it on PC. Like, I don't have the latest. Expansion pack for it because I just haven't played it in years.
I think the latest expansion was the Necromancer. Like, that. Yeah,
was it. That was it. I don't have Necromancer. I should probably see if it's on sale.
To say the Necromancer, like, he's fun, or she's fun, or whatever the hell it is. But like, it's fun, but it's just the early game. The Necromancer makes super easy. It's like the Witch Doctor. Like, it's stupid easy. But then it's the later game builds are like get tough. Like the power scaling doesn't necessarily work right.
Now, it does add a little bit to the storyline, right?
I think the Necromancer is only a character, so you get a storyline for the Necromancer, but that's it.
Ooh,
so I mean, I think it was 14.
Burger.
Yeah, I think it's $14, like when it's not on sale. I bought it, but that's because it's Diablo, and I'm gonna get it anyways.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just trying to figure out. It's the internal collection is $39.99. Battle chest is $29.99.
I thought you had Diablo 3.
Looking for? Oh, there you go. The expansions is Reaper of Souls is still $20. No, so you get Reaper of Souls is $20, and then the Necromancer is $14.99.
Yeah. Oh, 15. So I was right with the 14. I just forgot the 99.
Yeah, so like I still have to get Reaper of Souls. I'm pretty sure we can still play together. We just can't do any of the missions that are specifically to Reaper of Souls.
Okay. Well, honestly, Reaper of Souls is worth it. Reaper of Souls is the actual story expansion, and that's worth it.
Yeah, I'll pick it up. I haven't played it, and it might be something nice to play outside of that. I'll get back into it. I know you sent me an invite to play Aliens yesterday, and I'm sorry I missed it. I didn't see it at all. But we should definitely make like a day to play games. And of course, I'm pretty busy until after November because I'm going on vacation next week. And so we should probably sit down. Thursdays D&D. We'll sit down and like hash out like a game night. We can just kind of sit down.
Yeah, dude, we do just have to figure out a game night. Even if we're just like play games during the podcast. We're like, no, that's going to be the podcast this week. We're just playing a game.
Yeah, we should probably do that one week and just say like, hey, we're going to be playing Diablo 3 and commenting about it and whatnot. I'd have to play it in window mode. But yeah, no, we surely should. We keep talking about how we need to sit down and play some games together, and then we just never do.
I know. Well, dude, it's because adulting is so freaking hard.
Adulting is schedule awful on so many levels.
You've got to like, you're like, well, I'm doing this time, I'm doing that. And then when you have like a kid involved, like, I love my daughter, but I do so much stuff with her. It's like nuts. Holy crap. There is a Silent Hill 2 remake.
Is that coming out or is that available?
Hold on one moment. You've got to look at this. I am pasting it right now.
I'm already pulling it up.
Fuck me.
That's TBA.
I don't care. I do not care.
I know where
this.
you're going to be losing your, I know exactly. You better bring your brown pants to that one, my friend.
Dude, brown pants? Are you kidding me? I'm going to strap an Oculus on my face and play this until you're going to find me like one of those people that were died in the ring. Just.
If they even have VR enabled.
Oh, I'll figure out a way to do it, dude. Dude, this looks amazing. Like, this looks like they got in touch with Capcom and they're like, hey, dude, how did you do Resident Evil? Because we want to do that. Oh, god damn. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
100%
that does look really
yes.
good.
1000% yes.
I just added to my wish list.
Me too.
Dead by Daylight's on sale.
Oh, I think I've gotten every Dead by Daylight. Oh, actually, no, there's like 2 expansions I haven't gotten. I like that game, but man, I just get so much flack for playing it every time I do.
Oh, dude, another game too, like we keep talking about, my roommate and I were talking about sitting down and playing 7 Days to Die again, because...
Oh, God.
Of course.
I'll play that.
But like, we've chosen 3 servers to play with. We used to play with our friend John on a server as well. And they keep closing the servers down, so we're like, we just need to get a dedicated server going, and then just have it keep running.
They're not that much. I think they're like $8 or $10 a month. Like,
yeah, it's not that bad at all. No, and if you really wanted to, you could also locally host too. There is that possibility. I do have a friend that does that, and I'm just like, eh.
Honestly, the amount of energy and everything that you're paying for just to keep that thing running, it's almost more cost. It actually is more cost effective to just rent a server somewhere else, because really let them deal with the infrastructure, and then you don't have to worry about like, oh man, my internet went down, or somebody buzzing you and being like, hey, can you turn the server back on, or hey, can you restart the server because it's not doing this now. It's all remote. It does nightly restarts. Like, just it takes care of everything for you.
Yeah, it would be better just to do that.
Oh, dude, if you do that, let me know, because I would not only be interested in playing that with you guys, but I would even chip in for hosting.
All right. Oh, when he comes back, he went on vacation, and unfortunately, while he was on vacation, he got COVID. So he's staying at his parents' house right now because he doesn't want to come home and give it to me. And I had a scare recently too, because I play D&D every Thursdays, and our friend who hosts it got COVID, and we're not sure if they had COVID that day or if they got COVID sometime later, and if they had it, were they contagious? So far, I feel fine, and I've been negative. I've been testing like every day, and I've been negative every day. So I'm crossing my fingers that I just avoided it, because I'm also going on vacation. Because if I get sick, I'm not going on vacation next week.
It's 5 days, so if it's been 5 days and you've tested negative, then you're negative.
Yeah, it's been 5 days, and I've been testing negative. I guess the gestation period can be up to 10 days, but that's like an old CDC guideline. It was really hard trying to find like the most accurate, up to date information.
I'm very confident if after 5 days you've tested and you're testing negative after 5 days, you have not contracted it. Especially with the strains that are happening now and how quickly they're acting. If after 5 days you're not testing positive, you're good.
Yeah, I don't have any of the PCR tests. I just have the antigen tests. But
yeah, that'll be fine.
They've been testing negative. My last test, I'm going to be testing. I'm testing every other day now, just to be on the safe side, and then I'll be testing every day starting on Sunday, because I go on Thursday for vacation, and I want to make sure I don't get it at all. I almost wanted to tell my new workplace, that I can't come in at all that week, because I'm going to be out on vacation, and I don't want to get sick right before going to vacation.
Dude, I know people who've done that. They've been like, I'm going on vacation next week, so I'm working from the house this week.
Yeah, I don't have the option, unfortunately, for the first 90 days to work from home. But in the future, when I do work from home, or if I do have that option, I'll be like, so guys, I go on vacation, so I'm going to be going and working remotely from home. We're also pretty certain that if I ever got COVID, it would be an ugly sight to see.
Dude, and this is not a pissing contest. And everybody who suffers with COVID, it sucks. I feel for you. When I got COVID, I don't normally get sick, but when I do get sick, I get sick. I kid you not, man. It took me, I would rest in bed for 8 hours just so I could have enough energy to get up, go to the bathroom, fill my water jug, and then go back to bed. And it was probably 3 or 4 days where I was like that. It was terrible.
See, the last time I had the flu, it sent me to the hospital, and which was not a pleasant. My roommate thought I was going to die, and I was just like, "Yeah, can you imagine what happened if I got COVID?"
My wife said multiple times, "You should go to the hospital." I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm not well. I just need to rest." And when I finally started considering going to the hospital is when we got an oximeter at the house, because I was coughing a lot and I was gasping for breath. And we got an oximeter, and my oximeter said my O2 stats were in the 80s. And my wife was like, "You need to go to the hospital now." And I'm like, "No, I'm fine. Let's wait for tomorrow." And then the next day I was back into the 90s. But that means that I had been in the 80s for however the hell knows how long.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound pleasant.
Oh, dude.
And I definitely don't want to. I don't even know how I've escaped it as long as I did. I know I've been working from home for the better part of since the pandemic started, but I've been staying out of really crowded areas. I haven't been to a bar, like an actual bar, since 2019.
Wow.
Yeah, I just haven't gone because I know the minute I go. Well, colleges are all over this place, so the kids go and they don't care.
Oh no, they there is complete lack of concern, not only for themselves but for others.
Yeah, and that's I hate saying that, but it's absolutely true. The amount of COVID cases now happening since they reopened is absolutely insane. It's terrifying. And I know that we're going back into the whole fall season. We're going to be expecting that fall spike. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what that happens, especially now with the 2 new variants that are coming out that are all the rage. So we'll see what happens. Well,
I mean, so COVID's here. It's here to stay. It's not going away. We're not obliterating it. It's just going to become like the flu. You're going to they'll probably work on boosters, and you'll get a booster every year, and hopefully you won't get COVID. Or if you do, hopefully it will lessen the amount that you get. But, it's something to now live with, it is what it is. And
yeah, we missed that opportunity to obliterate it a long time ago, unfortunately.
Yeah,
even if that was even a possibility, I don't even know if it was.
I don't with something that mutates like that, because it was like if you go far enough back in its lineage, it originates from a SARS virus, which the SARS virus, as you know, the flu comes from the SARS virus. There's a lot of other things come from the SARS virus. You just like, you don't get rid of it. It's like Bebe's kids. They don't die. It multiplies. So because of that mutation, it'll just keep mutating and mutating and mutating, and you'll never get rid of it. Which is funny because you think, how the hell does it survive? Like you think in your head, how does the common cold survive? You know, does it just keep jumping from person to person to person to person to person?
Roadhouse.
Yeah, Roadhouse. But it does what a virus does. Like a virus, just like anything else, it wants to survive. It wants to live. And what's like, if it kills all of its hosts, it doesn't live. So it mutates so that it can survive.
Well, it needs to mutate into something that doesn't survive, so that way we can just basically go back to somewhat normalcy on this one, or normality rather.
This is about this is the norm.
No,
this is what
I don't
you're
like
going to get.
I refuse. Send it back.
I
Return. Reject
your reality and I substitute it with my own. No, but I mean, literally, that's what we got right now, man. We are like what we're seeing now. That's what we can look forward to from here on out. I mean, the one thing that I'll say is positive, even though I'm really hoping that nobody actually looks up the science on this, because if they do, it will be thrown out the window. The one positive is that I still see a lot of people wearing masks. And anytime somebody bashes them for like, oh, they're stupid, they're wearing a face diaper, they can't believe they're buying into that. I'm like, no, I want them to buy into that, because you know what doesn't pass through a mask? The common cold. The flu. Like, those are things that don't... All the other crap that you get, that you could just get from saliva coughing out on somebody, all of that crap can't pass through a mask. Now, unfortunately, COVID in its current strains can pass through a mask because it's so small, it actually passes through that mask. Unless you're using an N95, it's passing through. But I don't want to tell people that. I don't care if I honestly don't care if they think they're protecting themselves from COVID, because you know what they are doing? They're protecting me from the stupid other shit that they get.
That is true as well, yeah.
So, I mean, that's a positive that's come from this. I'm still seeing a lot of people wear masks. And that's a good thing. But, you know, there's like, when people are saying, well, I don't know why you're wearing a mask, it doesn't protect you from COVID anymore. You're right. It doesn't. It stopped protecting you from COVID back in like Delta, because it shrank down to the size that it passes through the fibers. It's no longer reliant on being on a droplet.
Scary times.
Yeah, it is what it is. It sucks.
I prefer to go back to the age of like the early 2000s, please and thank you.
Oh no, I want to go back to like, you know, the dark ages, where all I had to worry about was the bubonic plague.
I wasn't alive in the dark ages.
Exactly. That's why I wouldn't have to worry whatsoever. I'm not alive. Bam, problem solved. Oh, and ironically, I click through and I find a game called The Plague Doctor of Whippera.
Accurate.
That's only $9.99. God, it's a pixel art point-and-click adventure game. God damn, they always get me with these. Well, anywho, on that note, where can people find you, man?
People can find me here on the podcast. They can also find me on my Twitch channel, which I have been absolutely ignoring for a better part of like 3 weeks now. That is the Just About Right Gaming. Just About Right, except right is spelled with a 1 instead of an I. And that's it. What about you?
Well, I am Cecil Xavier, your host. You can find me on Cecil vs. Games on Twitter, Cecil Xavier everywhere else. You stream Twitch. I keep saying Mixer. I think I just got that buried into my brain. Steam, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, all over the place. So if you can't find me there, Facebook. If you can't find me there, let me know. I'll go there as well. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Reviews help people find the show. So if you enjoy listening, let other people know so they can too. You can find us on Podcast Addict, Player FM, Spreaker, MyTuner, Your Listen, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play Music, or Google Play Podcast, sorry. And all sorts of places. If you can't find us there, let us know. We'll upload. If you can't find us someplace, let us know. We'll upload there as well. We have a website, www.gnapodcast.com. Go check it out. We also have a merch store, G.N.A Podcast Gutter Shots. Go check that out. Got a whole bunch of cool stuff up there. Socks, leggings, sweatpants, hoodies, cups, all sorts of cool stuff. We got the old logo and the new logo up there, so depending on which one you like better, you can go check those out. Yeah, I think that's about it. I already mentioned Humble Bundle back during our talk, so I don't need to mention that again. But yeah, man, thanks for joining in.
Thank you for having me as well. It's always a good time.
Yeah, we just gotta nail down those when we're gonna play those games.
Yeah, we do, absolutely. We should, we can message outside of this.
Yeah, we can. Alright, man. Have a good night.
All right, man. You too. Peace.